Ripple has just formed a new partnership with a company that is going to be setting up new remittance rails that is going to boost the use of XRP by tens of billions of dollars. And in this video, I'm going to tell you about it. And in other Ripple news, there was just an announcement that was made of another round of grants that Ripple is going to be giving to developers that are going to be putting the XRPL to good use. I'm going to tell you what money they're going to be giving away for what kinds of projects and how you can take part. Also, since Bitcoin has broken through all-time highs, it hasn't really done much since. Well, I've been watching a few analysts that have been looking at market cycles and trying to predict the top just like everybody else is. And I have some information that is just coming out based on some analysis of previous market cycles that I have really yet to talk about. And I'm going to tell you what those predictions are for the price of Bitcoin as well as the length of this market cycle, because the lengthening market cycle could impact XRP and just how valuable it might be when Bitcoin actually has its blow off top. Because a lot of people are now thinking that the price of XRP is really going to depend on the outcome of this case versus the SEC, not necessarily the outcome, but when. Hey everyone, my name is Randy and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. And right now on this channel, we are covering the Ripple versus SEC case, as well as other cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any of those topics interest you, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also hit that bell notification icon so YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video. And I believe people in the crypto space are the most generous people on the planet. So if you are feeling generous today, I'd really appreciate it if you do two things. Number one, smash that thumbs up button. And number two, watch this video all the way to the end. Those really are the two best things that you can do to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, well, let's jump into it. So the first thing I wanted to cover is the announcement of the second wave of grants that Ripple is actually giving to developers. Now, they had actually announced a big grant program just a couple of weeks ago, approximately $250 million, that they were going to be funding for developers that are working on open source projects, NFT applications, DeFi applications, development tools that can be used on the XRPL. Well, this second wave of grants is now going on. So you can actually go to ripple.com. I will leave a link in the description below. And if you are a developer or work for a company that can develop these types of things, you might want to go and apply. Applications are being accepted until October 28th. So you really only have a couple more days to get that application in. And once these applications are reviewed, the next step in the process is that Ripple will be contacting those that they feel are the most interesting for another round of interviews. Now, that's very bullish news for the use of the XRPL, because if you're looking at what Ethereum's been doing in the past couple of years and having companies build out DeFi applications, NFT marketplaces, and the such, when you look at what the XRPL could be, essentially everything Ethereum could do, on top of doing remittances and cross-border payments and providing liquidity, in terms of utility, XRP really could be the utility token to beat. And next, I want to look at some key metrics that Benjamin Cowen has been talking about, especially the last couple of months, specifically around market cycles and the lengthening market cycle theory that he has. Benjamin Cowen, he's one of the analysts that I look at on almost a daily basis. Him and several others I look for on-chain analysis, as well as pricing and technical analysis, and try to formulate my own opinions of it. So Benjamin Cowen, he's been talking about these market cycles, and of course he has his own Bitcoin price predictions as well. But for me, I'm a little more interested in the market top, in the market cycle, rather than necessarily the price. So he actually just released a video where he's talking about the lengthening market cycle. In fact, he's put out two just within the past couple of weeks. I'll put a link to that in the description below, because it's some really insightful analysis that not many people cover. A lot of other technical analysts, they basically just look at price charts and that's it. And in my opinion, you are missing a huge part of the story if you only do technical analysis, because in my view, in the crypto space, on-chain analysis needs to be just as important as the technical analysis, as well as something like we're experiencing in the crypto space. There is now market cycles. It's cyclical. That's the third part of the analysis that really needs to be done to see this full picture. Now, he actually has a price point of $60,000 for Bitcoin in terms of it finding support. Now, he said Bitcoin has seen several daily candles that closed above 60,000, but what he wants to see is a weekly candle close above 60,000, and that's really going to give it the support that it needs after it broke all-time highs, went up to 67,000, and then basically consolidated. It came back down as some people took profits and are frankly accumulating again. He's looking at 60,000 to be that support. Now, I have seen some other people do some analysis and say that 55,000 is probably going to be that support where Bitcoin could actually pull back as far as 55,000 before and if it's going to actually bounce off of a number and continue its trajectory, continue its bull run for the rest of the year and possibly into the spring. So that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Is Bitcoin actually going to close that's above that $60,000 number on the weekly candle? Now, in terms of his analysis of the market cycle, a couple of videos ago, I referenced a video that he did a couple of weeks ago. Well, he just released another one just a couple of days ago. And just to keep it short and to the point, he basically said that in his, according to his analysis, that these markets, that the Bitcoin market cycle will probably peak out sometime between the end of December, which in his view would probably be the earliest, until possibly March, even April, and even a slight possibility that it could reach out as far as May, but he says that's probably unlikely. Now, in terms of a price analysis, he said if Bitcoin actually peaks during December, he doesn't see it going much above 140,000 for its all-time high before it retreats into a bear market. But he did say if this continues into January, February, March, or even April, that the number could climb even higher. And if it's several months into 2022, even possibly into the second quarter of 2022, then a $200,000 Bitcoin or a $250,000 Bitcoin is possible, because the longer this cycle runs, the more on-chain analysis points to a higher Bitcoin number. Especially if you follow Plan B on Twitter, who is very much subscribed to that stock-to-flow model that he developed for Bitcoin, which points to about the same thing. In fact, it points to an even higher number than that, but no one really knows, so we're gonna have to stick around and see what happens. And if you're an XRP holder or an altcoin holder, you really wanna pay attention to this, because as other cycles happen, Bitcoin hits its top. What happens when it's pulling back down into a bear market? Well, everyone shifts their profits that they have in Bitcoin and put it into altcoins. And especially some of them goes absolutely parabolic, and that's when people make a ton of money. A lot of people are now thinking that that's going to happen to XRP. Why? Well, because of the case versus the SEC. If they are in fact going to win this, which it looks like they will, but no one really knows a time frame. Attorney Jeremy Hogan says in his best guess, it's probably looking like a March of 2022 that Ripple would actually win the case. So if you're an XRP holder, you're going to be hoping that this is a really, really long market cycle for Bitcoin, and that by then people will be taking their profits from Bitcoin, maybe even their profits from the altcoin surge, and putting it to XRP once XRP wins that suit. And that is why you see predictions of 20, 30, 50, even $100 per XRP if all of those actually come into play. And finally, the announcement that Ripple just made about a new partnership that they made in the United Arab Emirates. Now, the partnership is with the blockchain financial services firm Pipple, I'm not sure, P-Y-Y-P-L. In any case, they're actually going to be opening remittance corridors in the United Arab Emirates, and they're going to be expanding into the Northern Africa section and into the Middle East. Now, in that region, there are two of the three biggest remittance corridors in the world. In fact, last year in 2020, two of those remittance corridors did a total of $78 billion worth of remittances. Now, this is big because this remittance rail is actually going to be using the ODL, the on-demand liquidity, hence XRP, is going to be used as the liquidity token, as the settlement token for this remittance rail. And as of right now, they said it is just going to be started in the United Arab Emirates, but like I said, they will be expanding into Northern Africa and the rest of the Middle East through these payment rails. So this is very, very big news. This is very bullish news for XRP in terms of its adoption, its usage, and solidifying it as the settlement token in a major financial sector, the United Arab Emirates. Now, Pipple said that the point of why they're doing this is because within that region, there's over 1 billion people that are underserviced financially that are smartphone holders. So they're going to be able to send money to and from United Arab Emirates using Pipple's payment service, which of course is going to be settled using the XRP token. And it's interesting because when Ripple was announcing this partnership, they took a few jabs at the United States regulators by saying these technological milestones are possible because of the forward-thinking regulatory bodies. Now, to me, that says jab at the SEC, and they're 100% correct. As so far, the only thing that's been very clear that what the SEC is trying to do is hold Ripple and the rest of the crypto space hostage. Now, Ripple's managing director of APAC and of the MENA region, Brooks Entwistle, said he was actually encouraged by the progress that the governments in those regions were actually making because they're focused on the financial improvements for for the people of that region. And some of the other stuff that they spoke about were things that you typically hear when people talk about Ripple and XRP, meaning cross-border payments, remittance services. They're going to be cheaper, faster, and much more transparent. Whereas using blockchain technology, specifically XRPL in this case, is going to make everything so much more transparent, and it's going to really eliminate the worry of sending money cross borders and having something actually happen to it. And in my opinion, we're going to be seeing more and more of these types of announcements come out as the years and months go by. Remittance corridors are going to be set up all over the world. I've already been covering these specifically in the past 6 months. I remember covering several of these, one in Central and South America, another one in Southern Asia, and now the one in the United Arab Emirates is getting started. This is huge news for the usage of XRP. So if you want to find out what's going to happen to Ripple in the case versus the SEC and the price value of XRP based on a lot of the usage and use case of Ripple was actually designed for is actually getting used, well, you're going to want to be subscribed to the Late Night Grind if you want to follow that as well as other cryptocurrency news and investment markets. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel. So thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video and for giving it a big thumbs up. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.